beginning of the story, or beginning of the root word, the first prefix we're going to look at is sub. Sub means under, below, or beneath. Meaning, example. Remake my chart since I ran out of room. It means under, below, beneath. Come on, camera. An example of a sub prefix be like subtitle. It means the title beneath the picture. Subheading. So we know what a subheading is. A subheading is a separate heading. It's not very clear today. Alex, mute your microphone. Alex, mute your microphone. Alright. And then the next prefix is for. F-O-R-E. The meaning means before. Some examples: foreboding, like our vocabulary word, meaning you think something's going to happen before it happens. Forecast, like you can tell the weather before it happens, the forecast. Alright, so those are our two new prefixes. Alright. Set my camera. Alright, we are done writing that? Hope so. We're going to review this. We're going to review the theme anchor chart. Remember, the theme of a story is the main message or lesson that the story is trying to portray. The theme can be stated in text. Fables and myths might tell themes at the end. The theme can be implied using text clues to figure it out. Some questions to ask yourself would be like, what happens to the characters? How does the character react? How does the character learn? How do the characters grow or change? And what is the author trying to teach me? Think back to the recent story that we read. Can anybody share what they think the theme of the story is? Go ahead, Gabby.
Did you call me?
Yeah.
The theme of this story is probably
everybody's coming from both sides.
things you all like to do together.
Okay.
Like being selfish.
Yeah. Okay. Alex, mute your microphone, please. All right. So let's go to page 261 in our reading book. Everybody get your reading book out. Page 261, please. And we will explore the theme. All right, so we're going to reread paragraphs 86 to 96 to determine the theme of this fairy tale. I don't want any other women. I want Ella. Reginald, what do you think I should do? And be honest with me. Don't just tell me what you think my father wants to say. Reginald considered this request. He'd been caring for Frederick since the prince was a child, and he'd never been more proud of Frederick than when he saw the young man standing up to his overbearing father. Frederick could use someone as feisty and fearless as Ella in his life. Don't let her get away, Reginald said, dropping his overly stiff posture and speaking in an unusual, casual tone. Wow, Frederick gasped. Did you just get 2 inches shorter? Never mind me, Reginald said. Did you hear what I told you? Get a move on. Go after Ella. But how? Frederick asked, still bewildered to hear his longtime valet speaking like a regular person. We'll put you on a horse. Charles can show you the basics. You don't need to be the world's best rider. You just need to be able to get around. Stick to the roads and you'll be fine. But I know you're scared, Frederick, but here's my advice. Get over it. Ella wants someone as adventurous as she is, a real hero. My penmanship is top notch. Oh wait, sorry. Then I've got no hope, Frederick sulked. I'm a fantastic dresser. My penmanship is top notch. I'm really good at being a prince, but I'm pretty lousy at being a hero. Reginald looked him in the eye. There's a bit of courage in you somewhere. Find it. Go catch up with Ella, wherever she is, and just see what happens. She might be impressed enough that you left the palace. What advice does Reginald give Frederick, and in what way? What advice did Reginald give Frederick? What did Reginald say for him to do? Get on a horse and go find her. Go find Ella. Go after Ella. In what ways did he do it? Talking to myself today. Talking to myself. He lost his real uptight demeanor. His formal demeanor. He spoke to the prince as a casual, like a friend would. What message or lesson is the author trying to communicate? Is he telling you to just sit there and if you're scared of something, just don't even do it?
To work hard.
Okay, work hard for what you want. What else? If you need to reread that page again, reread that page. But I'm going to sit here till somebody in the classroom tries to figure out what the author is trying to communicate. Go ahead, Jody. What do you think the theme or the message of the story is? Yeah. So what kind of what could he be really trying to get the author be getting what does he want everybody else to realize through this story? What type of message or theme does he want everybody?
Everybody's talking about books now.
What did he actually say?
I don't know.
That's really weird. Who says that?
What does the author want? What's the author trying to communicate to us? Go ahead, Jody.
For him to not worry, because if you want somebody to fear.
Yeah, don't have fears. Don't let your fears control your life. Stand up for yourself. He stood up to his father. Go after things that you want in life. Live your life to the fullest, and you'll be a hero. Whew. That was like pulling teeth today. All right, let's look at text features and graphic features. Remember, text features are like the headings, subheadings, the captions, the bolded, italicized words. The graphic features are like the pictures and the diagrams. We're going to look at page 247 first. So turn to page 247. All right, I'm going to read you this question, and then you're going to reread pages 246 and 247 and get ready to answer the question for me. Okay? It says, how is the text written on these pages? All right, how is the text written on these pages? So you're going to reread page 246 and 247 to yourself right now. And then when you're done, you're going to give me a thumbs up and tell me that you're ready to answer my question. Alex, you should be reading in your reading book. Where's your reading book at?
In another place. Okay.
Okay, go get it. Hold on a second, Gabby. Let's let other people finish first.
Okay.
Ava, you giving me a thumbs up or you got a question? Okay. Just wait a minute. Let other people finish. All right, so how was the text written on these pages?
He wants to have an adventure.
What?
He wants to go on an adventure. Like he wants to have an adventure.
I'm good. I'm okay right now. So if we look at the writing on page 246, it looks like it's a scroll. A scroll is kind of like an announcement that you make to in that time period. And then if you look at page 247, that is kind of like a the text is written in italicized, showing that it's an introduction to the tale. All right, let's go to page 253. 253. All right, we're going to look at this illustration and we're going to reread paragraphs 32 to 33. Here's our question. What details in the illustration and in the text helps you understand the relationship between Ella and Frederick? So looking at paragraph 32 and 33, it says, Ella wasn't in her room, so Frederick headed to the garden. He paused briefly to sniff a rosebud when he heard the sound of approaching hoofbeats. He looked over his shoulder to see that a large white horse was bearing down on him, tearing through the garden at a fast gallop, leaping over one hedgerow after another. The prince tried to run, but the golden tassel of his jacket caught on the shrub thorns. Frederick tugged frantically as his stuck sleeve as a horse rider pulled up on the reins and brought the steed to a halt. From the saddle, Ella looked down at him and laughed. She wore a distinctly unfancy blue dress, and her tied-back hair was disheveled from the ride. Her strong, athletic build and warm, healthy glow were a stark contrast to Frederick's slender frame and sun-deprived complexion. I hope you haven't been stuck there all morning, she said, only half joking. So what details in the illustration and in the text helps you to understand the relationship between Ella and Frederick? Jody, what you got?
Like, happy?
Huh?
Happy?
Okay. They look like they're maybe happy. Okay. What else can we learn from the illustration or the text, Gabby?
From the illustration, he's like clumsy and he's in the bushes, and then she's just like up on the horse knowing how to ride it all.
Right. He looks very maybe uncomfortable, kind of weak in a way because he's stuck, and then she looks very strong and independent. She's looking down at Frederick, who looks very surprised, helpless, or uncomfortable. Okay. Let's go to page 255, please. We're going to look at the illustration again. It says, what illustration catches your attention and why is it significant? What illustration catches your attention and why is it significant?
What's the question? I couldn't quite get that.
It says, what illustration or picture catches your attention and why is it significant? Go ahead, Gabby.
The one where Reginald is coming up to Ella and Frederick.
Yeah,
And he's confused and doesn't know something.
yeah. What are they talking about? Do you remember?
Yeah, they were talking about Pennyfeather.
They're talking about Mr. Pennyfeather. Who is Mr. Pennyfeather?
The person that was
The writer.
He was a missing person that was, he wrote beautiful songs and stuff. So what they wanted you to really see is that they wanted you to see that this is Pennyfeather right here in the text. This guy right here with his little harp, that's Pennyfeather. And you see a man playing an instrument in the scroll. You can infer that this is Pennyfeather because the text talks about him writing songs. He's a key character who is missing right now in the story. Right there.
he looks like Reginald.
Kind of.
Reginald looks like Pennyfeather.
Oh yeah, they do kind of look very similar. Interesting.
He's supposed to be Pennyfeather.
Maybe. All right, let's go to page 258. We're going to look at the illustration. Just kidding, we're not going to look at the illustration yet. We're going to look at the note. All right, so what are some features that are new to this page? What do we see that's new to this page that we haven't been introduced to yet?
Like a letter.
The letter. The letter's on a written on a beige piece of paper with torn edges. What else do we see about this letter? What type of text is it? How is it written?
Yeah,
It's
I like
written
that.
kind of expanded and old.
Okay, so a little bit of italicized. It's bolded. It's supposed to be written in cursive. It's supposed to look like it's written in cursive. Why did the author change the type and look of this page? Why did the author change the type or look of the page?
Maybe to make it look more like a note.
To make it really so the reader knows that it's a letter. It's not what it's what Ella writes to Frederick telling him that she's going away. So it's significant to the story and to the reader, so they know that this is kind of separate than what is from the story. All right, it says, how does the illustration show this is an important part of the story? How does the illustration show that this is an important part of the story?
That Frederick is sad.
He looks sad. Okay, what else?
He's on a picnic.
Okay, he's on the picnic. All right. Is this a turning point in the plot of the story?
Yes.
Yeah. Because at this point, after he reads it, it's clear now how he misplaced his bride. Because she ran away
Just too fancy.
for a life of adventure. And then, yep, that's it. So, all right. Oh, gee, 8:30. All right, we are going to not look at that. We're going to be taking our reading test tomorrow on that story. So tomorrow we will listen to the story, and then you'll do your reading test, vocabulary test. If you haven't finished your vocabulary box method with your 10 words, I'm going to give you a little bit of time to do that now. If you have finished it, do the rest of the 4 words. So we have all 14 words done. Okay? You understand?
Yes.
Okay, so this is independent working time. I'll put the words back up if you didn't write them down last time, but you should have. If you finished the 10 from the other day, then you do the last 4 that you didn't do, and so then we have all 14 of them done. Okay? All right. Y'all work on that right now. Jody, did you finish your box method? All 10? Did you do all 10?
Oh, 10.
Yeah. You had to pick 10 words the other day, and then now you've got to do the last 4 today. Oh, no, you got to do all 10. We're really doing all 14, but